What's going on, YouTube? Single digits coming at you again. Now, don't get fooled by the background. This is not a ranking video. I'm not ranking S tier, A tier, whatever. But I am going to be talking about the characters I feel like you should always roll on whenever they come up. So March 1st, we're going to get the 3.5 banner for Dehya. And stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on Dehya. But yeah, so a lot of YouTubers and streamers and stuff, who play Genshin, I'm sure you guys are all aware of them. Zyox, Mtashed, Sevyplays, iWinToLoseGaming. There's a bunch. Those are just some of the ones I follow. But they all kind of have one similar thing in common where they won't tell you definitely need to roll on this character. They kind of weigh the pros and cons of each, and they say, oh, if this fits your playstyle, or if you like the art and the aesthetic, But ultimately it's up to you. I'm gonna go hardline right now. Okay, I'm hardlining this. These are the characters you need to roll on to make sure your account is super strong. And that's coming from a guy who likes to unga bunga and have very simplistic gameplay. So, yeah. The other thing is, I'm adventure rank 59. I'm not 60 yet, but I'm almost there. I've been playing since the release, and I have pretty much all the characters. I am not a free-to-play person. I have spent money. I'll buy the battle pass. I'll get the Welkin Moon, just to increase my flow of primogems to supplement, because I also don't do like every single quest. I'm a casual player, but I like the game enough where I'll spend some money. No big deal. I'm not a whale. I don't even know what the other terms are, like dolphin or kraken or whatever. But I'll spend some money on the game. It's silly, sure, but hey, I do it, and I enjoy the game. I have a lot of fun with it, and judging from my last video where I rank characters, that's been my highest performing video and the one that's gotten me the most views. So Genshin community out there, I'm talking to you. If you like this stuff and you agree or disagree, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, comment, like my video. I'm trying to do something here and grow this channel, and it's still kind of all over the place, but this is a passion of mine, kind of like a shameful passion. And if you play Genshin, you kind of know why too. But anyway, this is just a video for the Genshin community out there. And if you're thinking about getting into the game, this is specifically for you. So I'm not going to go through all the characters. This is not a ranking video. This is just my opinion from all of my experience playing the game as a casual person on the characters I think you should always try to get whenever you can. So let's start it off. We'll start with 5 stars. Yeah, we'll start with 5 stars because they're the banner, and Dehya, she comes out March 1st, like I said, and I have my opinions on her. So stick around to the end. I'll talk about her. But let's do the 5 stars. So I think right out of the gate, one of the first 5 stars anybody should get is Raiden Shogun. Okay? Raiden Shogun is a game changer. A lot of the characters I'm telling you to roll on are game changers. They change the game in some way, and they kind of, they can even alter your style of gameplay. But regardless, they are super strong. And the other criteria that I think for a lot of these characters is how many teams they fit in. A lot of other, pro streamers and, super famous, and, well, I guess famous isn't the word, but super well known, and trusted Genshin streamers. They'll tell you that, kind of the best characters are the ones that can fit into multiple team comps and do multiple things. The days of just like, I'm a main DPS and that's all I do are kind of like gone. There's enough of those characters that you can just come across and get losing a 50-50 roll and whatever, and maybe you get the Luke, and there you go, you got a DPSer. So that's not as important as like a team enabling character. So Raiden Shogun, definitely. Anytime Raiden Shogun's banner comes up, you should absolutely get her. You should also try, if you already have her and you don't have Constellations, get her, try and get at least 2 copies of her to Constellation 2. Now, yes, that requires a lot of wishing, and may even require multiple banner runs, and she's already had a couple. So that can be challenging, but this is a character that you absolutely need, even at C0. She's just really good. If you don't know what she does, there's tons of videos you can look up. There's tons of streamers. Ziox makes some of the best character breakdowns. I'll link him down below. He is awesome, and check out his videos on any character. He's the resource I use, to see what I'm going to invest in and who I'm going to invest in. So, yeah, but Raiden Shogun, absolutely. Always roll on Raiden Shogun. Up until Constellation 2. Anything past that, you don't really need to. Who else? Let's, I said 5 stars, right? Yeah, so, okay, so the newest one, here we go, Nahida, Dendro. So this is the Electro Archon, the Dendro Archon. You're going to see a trend here. Not all the Archons are out, obviously, but there's only one kind of stipulation. But the Dendro Archon, amazing. Game changer, literally. The whole meta has shifted. It is now this Hyper Bloom stuff, and it's wild, and you can do insane damage. If you're a new player, invest in your Traveler. Get the quest done up until where you can get to Sumeru and change, his element to Dendro, and just watch how you can shred enemies. You obviously will already have Traveler, but Nahida is crazy. Just, I can't say too much more. And I only rolled 1 copy of her. When she comes out again, I am going to roll again on her to try and get her, I think, also to Constellation 2, because she just does this thing where she gives you a set amount of crit rate and crit damage, and it's wild, honestly. But even at C0, she's making a lot of the game trivial for me, so yeah, these 2 right there, absolute bangers. You need them. You need these 2. Let's see, we keep going here. Let's see, what do you want? Well, we'll do Geo first. Okay, so Zhongli, another one. Now, he changes the game in a different way. So he is the strongest shielder in the game, and his gameplay can change where it makes it so you can kind of like stand in place and just eat damage to the face, not worry about it. I love to pair Zhongli with Ganyu, personally, because she's a charged shot bow and arrow user. So I don't have to move around, I don't have to dodge, I don't have to sprint, none of that. I put up a shield and just pew pew pew. So, and that works for a lot of other characters too. Blocking the damage and having a shield will also help you avoid, getting interrupted in the middle of combos. So Zhongli, just awesome. You could get Constellation 1 if you want on him, just for the extra, Geocelie that, he summons. That's a nice, kind of, comfort for you to have. If you have one shield, if like you eat like just a huge damage and it breaks your first shield, you can kind of put up a second one super quick. So yeah, C1 I would recommend, but you don't really need it, So these 3 so far. Now we'll get to kind of the up in the air. So Archon, Electro Archon in Raiden, Dendro Archon in Nahida, Geo Archon in Zhongli. Now we have, where is he? Venti, my boy Venti. Okay, Venti is the Anemo Archon. However, I don't recommend pulling him. Who I instead recommend is Kazuha. Now, Kazuha is not the Enemo Archon, but his kit is just way better. And while he may not have the crowd control suction like Venti does, he doesn't lift characters in the air. So, like, if you play a melee character or anything like that, and you use Venti's ult, he pulls all the characters in the air, you can miss them. You might not even hit them. And that's bad, you know, because you want them to be clumped up. You want to do all the damage to them all at once. Venti, you know, in the early stages of the game, you know, the 1 point whatever, 2 point whatever era of the game, Venti was pretty good. But yeah, after Kazuha came out, there's no need to roll on Venti, in my opinion. Kazuha does everything better. I like his scaling. He's also more fun to play. He's more active. His swirls and reactions and all of that stuff are just, he's a great enabler. And he also has suction. Not as good, but also not as inconvenient. So Kazuha gets my vote as a must pull. These three. And I made the mistake with Kazuha because I had Sucrose C6. And when he first came out, you know, everybody's like, oh, he's just a, you know, 5-star Sucrose. And if you have Sucrose C6, then you don't really need him. And I was kind of a dummy, and I was like, yeah, you know, because you're stingy with your primogems. You don't want to roll on everybody, obviously. That's why I'm making this video. So I skipped him, and then, like, everybody kind of learned his playstyle, and, like, Enemo got a buff, and I was just like, man. So I had to wait. Finally, I got him. Boom. You can Constellation if you want, but I think it's only up to, like, 1 or C2 maybe again. C1 through 3, you know, you can make arguments for any of these guys. I have him at C0. I don't even know if I'll get C1 with him because everything I need him to do, he can do at C0. But definitely Kazuha, roll on Kazuha. You won't regret it. The other characters now that I will talk about are, you know, they're going to be a little bit more dependent on your playstyle, but they should be characters that you attain at some point. I'm going to start with the 4 stars. Xingqiu, you know, obviously. If you play the game at all, you already know. And I'm going to actually speak to you guys right now. So we know Xingqiu, Bennett, these are default. Fischl even, right? Fischl's very good, very strong. Those 3 right there, these 3 4 stars are core. And then you can't forget the real Pyro Archon. No, I'm just kidding. Zhongli, you can get her for free. You just gotta beat whatever level in the Spiral Abyss and you get a copy of her for free. But Zhongli, you know, Bennett, Xingqiu, Fischl, you should try and get all of these characters. They are super big game changers. Just like these 4 characters alone, having these 4, like, you have such cool teams that you can make out of them. They're just super strong, and they help make the game, you know, a lot easier for you. So Zhongli, Bennett, Xingqiu, and Fischl, absolutely get these 4 stars. They're great. Bennett, you know, I've heard the debate. You don't want to get him to C6. Even if you have the abilities to C6 him, don't leave him at 5, because a C6 can infuse your weapon with Pyro, which may interfere with some of your combos for other teams. I did it because I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, I just need C6 for everybody. So I C6 him, but it doesn't really change him too much with the characters that I use him with. Everybody else, C6 is golden. I mean, Zhongli, really, you only need her to C4 because you need her ultimate to, you know, last, I think it's like 4 extra seconds, and that's a huge buff. Everybody, you know, Xingqiu and Fischl getting their constellations just increase their utility, increase their damage and their capabilities. So yeah, get constellations for these 4 stars too. So if you see them on a banner, you know, and it's like a banner for one of the other characters that you might not want, but they're on the banner, you might want to risk rolling on it, you know, just to by chance get some of these, and then, you know, be able to buy them with the star gems or whatever currency it is there. I don't pay attention to that stuff, but Yeah. Um, Now I'm going to talk about, I think, the more like not niche, but I personally think they're just really solid 5 stars that you should always roll on. And one is Yellen, and her banner's out now. So if you don't have her, I do recommend roll on her. Roll on her for sure. Um, she's like Xingqiu. She's a ranged Xingqiu. Her Hydro application isn't as I wouldn't it isn't as consistent as Xingqiu is, but just her, and I just got her C1, and like crazy, crazy, and like you pair these two with like Shangling and Raiden, and you have like a crazy vaporize whatever overload team. Um, you could switch out anything like this, whatever. But yeah, Yellen, I absolutely suggest that you pull for because she's just really good and she's a lot of fun. And she's just super strong. She also scales off of HP for her damage, which is great because it makes her a lot easier to build. Just stack HP, and in the worst case scenario. Um, awesome. Yeah, Yellen, definitely get. Another character that I would suggest, and I'm like kind of 50-50 on this, is Hu Tao. So I'm a Diluc main. I talked about this in my ranking video. I got Hu Tao on accident. I think I was just like rolling for whatever because I wasn't really into it at that stage in the game. So I was just like, I have some primogems, I'll roll on them. I got her. I never built her because I felt like it was disrespectful to Diluc. You know, um, unfortunately for Diluc, he got power crept hard. I mean, like Shangli, like all of these 4 stars are better than Diluc, and it's sad. He's a lot of fun to play. He's Unga Bunga, and I will always keep him, at the front of my characters. But in terms of like damage and whatever, if you want a pyro user who can vaporize and is like just the numbers are insane, it is Hu Tao. And right now, Hu Tao and Yellen, their banners are up, so I would roll. I'd roll if you don't have Hu Tao and you want a strong vaporize team, like right here. These two characters, they're great, and I think they did that on purpose because the next banner to come out is Dehya. So here's my thoughts on Dehya. Everything was doom and gloom, right? And like her scaling is bad, and she doesn't synergize with anybody. Her ult doesn't synergize with vaporize. So like she's a pyro claymore user. She won't vaporize off of Xingqiu and Yelan. So that's weird, right? And like if you follow anybody else or any of these channels, you'll know like it's just bad news. And then in the recent live stream, they announced that she's going on the standard banner, and that's terrible. And I think that's terrible because we already have a bunch of characters on standard banner. So like Diluc. Who else is on there? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Whatever. Gene. Who else is on standard? Who's on standard? Who's on standard? Oh, Tignari is Kaching, Gene, Tignari, Mona, Chi Chi. Who else is a 5-star on the standard banner? I don't think there's anybody else, right? Nobody else on standard banner. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 characters. Let me just double check. Yeah. So you have 6 characters on standard banner right now. And Tignari was added. So, and he was like one of the first new Dendro characters. And that's fine. Because we got Nahida. We got Alhaitham. Yao Yao even. A 4-star. So it's fine that he went on. But like, she isn't a new pyro unit. Like, we have a ton of pyro units. So why would they put her on the standard banner, which can ruin, your chances at maybe pulling on somebody else? I think it's because she was so bad, there was no fix for her, and other people have speculated that maybe she'll synergize with characters later on down the road when Fontaine releases, and there'll be some mechanics there. But if that was the case, then they wouldn't put her on standard. They would save her for a unique banner. For instance, like Yoimiya, or Nilu, or who else? We got Yaemiko, right? So these characters, when they all like first came out, they like it was like underwhelming, and everybody was like, "Oh, what is this? This is they're weird, they're odd, they kind of don't work, yada yada yada." And then like Dendro came out, that changed the whole game, and then all of a sudden, like Nilu has a crazy bloom build, Yaemiko can do crazy hyper blooms, all of that stuff. So they worked later on. Dehya going on the standard banner kind of makes me feel like it's like, all right, we're relegating you to just whateverville, and that's sad because everybody's hyped for her. I really don't know. I think I'm just as confused as the rest of the Genshin community, like what their thought process behind her was. But her going on the standard banner is a bad thing in my opinion, and I don't think she's going to synergize later. I could be wrong, but you don't see a Diluc banner, you don't see a Kaching banner necessarily. So yeah, she is in bad shape. I don't recommend you roll on her, and I'm not going to. I'm going to skip her. I might roll on the weapon because the weapon is good, potentially for Diluc. So I got to keep my boy Diluc, well armed. But I'm not rolling on her. So yeah, I don't think you should. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm going to end it here. I think Dehya is bad. I think what they did was bad, and I think her ending up on standard is bad. Avoid her like the plague, honestly. But yeah, for everything else, these are the characters I feel like you should roll on. Raiden, Nahida, Zhongli, Kazuha, and Yellen, and then and Hu Tao. These are the 5 stars you should always roll on when they pop up. For sure, they're game changers. They break the game. They're very good to have. 4 stars, always try and get these characters somehow. Get their constellations if you can. The more the better. Xiangling, Fischl, Bennett, Xingqiu. I'm going to put a bonus up here. And that bonus is my girl Ganyu. Now, she was another character I got accidentally. I was just rolling, I was just rolling. I didn't know anything about her, and I got her. And wow, I do not regret her. Just in terms of a ranged DPS, her charge shot is phenomenal. It does an instance of single target, and then it does an AoE. So like, she's just super strong. And then like, her charge shot is super strong. You pair it with the Wanderer's set, and I pump out damage. I'm getting like 20k initial hits, and then like 40 to 50k AoE crits on the secondary. I shred people, groups, single targets. I pair her with Zhongli, and like my overworld team is like, I think it's actually something just like this. Yeah, with just an open slot, but like I'll put Ganyu, Bennett, Zhongli, and then I have an open for whatever. Put Zhongli's shield down, do Bennett's ult to boost her attack, and then I just pew pew and stand in it, and like it's fine. This is my overworld team. It's probably Kazuha, but yeah. I would actually even go so far as to say get Ganyu more than Hu Tao, because again, utility. I think she can just do a lot more things, and she doesn't need necessarily anybody really, because her charge shots are so strong. But yeah, this is my ranking. This is who you need to get. Get these characters to make your account better and stronger. Raiden, Nahida, Kazuha, Yellen, Zhongli, Ganyu, Hu Tao. Everybody else down here is more based on just your style of gameplay or your flavor or what you like. But these are must pulls. Spend your primos on them. You won't regret it. Yeah. Comment down below. Tell me what you think, if you agree or disagree. And stay tuned. And catch me in the next video. Appreciate the support. Like, comment, subscribe. Can't say it enough. I'm trying to make this thing better, bigger, stronger. But yeah, until the next one, take care.